Hey there, Greg. Got Lalo. I'm just getting this closed up before we get on with the other work. Wow. Hey, B-Blood. You just closing your eyes? Well, good night. Even though I know you're gonna go, no, I gotta watch. It's alright. Gotta put this back on off screen. Too many bits of information. I just realised it's on the damned. You know what? It can stay there. For some reason I thought I had the overhead camera on, but clearly I don't. So you can just wait for me to finish this machine. Got ourselves a bit of a heat wave here today, and yesterday and the day before. I mean, it's a soft heat wave. It's like around 38, 39. And honestly, the more problematic part is just how hot and dry the wind is. So you go out there and it feels like you're standing in front of an industrial hairdryer. A3X. A retro. Where's that last screw? Come on now, turn on. That's better. Let's see. Okay. Hey there, Godfrey. Not sure you're gonna learn anything, B-Blood. That's right, I lost the capacitor last night. That's annoying. It's a little 402 capacitor, and it just sort of flicked off into the Netherland. That's a different one. Oh well, it's not critical. This is just for me to archiving. So whenever a job is done, whether it's success or fail, any parts are kept in little zippy bags and put into the archive box. And that way, if anybody questions me and says, did you really remove those parts or whatever, I can go, here you go. Of course, that's entirely fakeable. Nothing to stop me just creating a random bag with bits and pieces in it. I'll have a look at that cap. Hey, Teresa. Been a while. Greg, you still having fun with your shipping, but that's a standard for you, isn't it? Oh, that is from an iPhone. That's a little piece of metal that appears at the junction or the boundary between the main body of the case and the top and bottoms where they start to curve around. And that little piece seems to always break off. Anyway, so that's what that is. It was not the capacitor I thought it was. Okay. So we've got to build meters and we've got to build lights. That's basically what we're here for today. Doom, 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 doom. What are we going to do first? I suppose it's 50-50. Hey Miles. Yeah, we haven't even started anyway. Hey Mr. Paul Howard, just saw you there. What do you need me to check PayPal? Let me go see. All I see is Pedro saying naughty words to me. Lovely. Oh, yep, here we go. Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you very much for the 100 Australian dollars in PayPal. You know where that goes, as always. Do you have a coating for an LCD replacement? Oh, I've just got to answer this. Hello Aaron, full stop. For some reason the last couple of days I have not been able to reply to you, full stop. New line, new line. Needless to say, there isn't really anything I can do about that particular display, full stop. If it is flaking off, then maybe look at having the coating removed, full stop. I've seen some videos on the internet showing how to remove that flaking retina coating, if that is what I think it is, full stop. Otherwise it is going to be extremely expensive to get a 1707 replacement display. Okay. Yeah, I've been wondering where you've been, Paul. Just, you know, to be fair, I haven't been doing very many live streams, so I apologise for that. Hey, wait a second, you guys the same? What the hell, they're even chunkier now? I just noticed this. Yeah, Australian and Canadian are roughly similar. Wow, these are super chunk. Oh great, and I've bought 100 of them. Oh, better check the quality. I have a feeling they have done the old switcheroo on me. Yeah, that's a massive difference. Look, you look at that. I hope they haven't done a switcheroo on me. Okay, so these are the ones I have been using. I've been very happy with these ones. You know, they've got a decent grip on them. And then I've been shipped these ones. My goodness, these are huge. I'm a little worried about them being this big because you've got a lot more leverage that you can impart more damage on. So I'm going to pop this open and see what the quality is like compared to the other one. Yes, I haven't done live in a long time. It's just been a lot of things going on as usual. I suppose you can just say, well, that's just the nature of things in life, isn't it? Rarely what you plan. I mean, I've been putting up the edited videos. Well, the casting quality is pretty good. And it has got a little bit of dielectric grease in there. Not a lot, but at least it's got something. Actually, to be fair, it's pretty much none. And the dimples are properly stamped. Okay, so the quality of the actual mechanisms are fine. It's just, that's a little bit over the top. Greg, the switcheroo I'm just talking about, just suppliers in general. Yeah, the fact that no matter what you do in life, there's always someone who's going to swap it around on you. Okay, I found my other bag. I've got another 100, and these look like these. Interesting, this has got an L stamp on it, this has got an N stamp. I don't know what that means, but other than that, it seems like they're the same. Okay, so I've got at least 200 to go before I worry. With the switches before, that was me just trying different suppliers. Like I tried 6 different suppliers for the switches, so that's what that would have been. But in this case, it was from the same supplier. I just hit the reorder. That's just the way it goes, I guess. And it appears I need to make more strips of LEDs. Prep time. Just a few LEDs. Or the L and N could be loose and normal. So many possibilities. Okay, so we need 28. So what have we got? 7 a rank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops, 7. Yep. Let's verify we've got 28. 7. Let me just measure it out. Hey. What have you made?
Eggs and sausage. I'll put it in the oven.
No, I'm gonna be a while.
Okay, that's okay.
No. I'll terminate this. Come have breakfast and.
It's fine. I can.
No, seriously, I'll terminate this. Come and have breakfast and. So you choose, do you want me to terminate this stream and then restart it, or do you want me to just leave it sitting here while I have breakfast? I'm not sure what to do for you guys in terms of keeping you entertained, but be back in about 5 minutes. the back. Alright. Tank fueled up slightly more. Got our 4 strips. I'm not going to pre-do any at this point for other jobs. Need to get myself another roll of LEDs though. That's probably only 10 or 20, 10 or 20 jobs worth left in there. Let's see, what else do I need to do? I'm feeling a bit out of it, aren't I? Guess we have to get the stenciling done. I saw that comment about switching me over to acetone. How dare you? Ah, there it is. Getting a bit of a bend on this here. Make sure I bend it so much that it creases. That's always a good idea. Yeah, can't really fix that. It's okay. Now the worst thing is I can't put it this, like I would like to put it this side, because then the center has the pressure down because of the bending, and then you can just put the magnets down around them. But instead I've got to put it this side because it is obviously it's a directional stencil. Yeah, well. Okay. Incidentally, I did go have a what do you call it, an eyeglasses appointment. Funnily enough, a day or two after I was complaining on stream about, or lamenting rather, about the fact that I have to go get new glasses. It turns out that they messaged me, say, hey, you're due for new glasses. And it's actually been 2 years since I had my prescription adjusted, so I don't feel so bad now. It's like 2 years, fine, I can live with that. Okay, spready. Ooh. You've got some bite too. Feisty spready. So as usual, I have left this too long, and now it's all panic stations. Friday afternoon, and yeah. All right. I think I might get a bit more of a zoom in on that. I've also ordered myself a replacement display for the OBS output. So I've got a 10-inch one. These are the ones that the type that Jim sent me. But I'm actually changing it to a 13-inch because I'm half blind, it seems. So it'll still be small, but it will be a little bit more, and I'll be able to see it a little more clearer, I hope. Ach, yeah, man. Ach, fuck. That did not go how I wanted. It gave me a warning shot. It told me, it said, "Hey Paul, these things are magnetic and your spudger is magnetic. Are you sure you wish to proceed?" And I was like, "Yeah, it'll be okay. I'll be aware of it." And I just smudged the hell out of that. Not good. Alrighty. We're all a big mess today. Hey there, Defcon. Yeah, it's the only reason why I'm live is because I've got to get these damn things done. Gee, like I said, I'm really manufacturing, and I'll do it, but it's not my thing. And I know everybody's going to say, "Why don't you get someone else to do it?" And we've discussed this before. Now, the USB-C meters I could quite well have done elsewhere, so I may look at that. But then there's also the investment factor of, like, I will have to buy a couple of hundred of those, and it's not the cheapest. Oh, I slipped on that one again. Wow. Fortunately, this board is very tolerant of issues like that. So kind of was a bit silly there and ran ourselves with no paste almost. There's a slight absence of paste around some of those LED pads, but that's okay with them because they usually have way too much anyway. So now we've got to add a little bit more paste, and which will probably add way too much, which means then we'll waste a fair bit. I do have more tubes of this. See, ideally you want to be able to do it in that one sweep. With a proper stenciling setup, proper manual stenciling setup, you probably do, I think, 2 or 3 sweeps, I'm not sure. But they have the advantage of actually not moving around too much. Alright, so that's our 4 ring lights. I will do the USB-C meters after. But I need to clean this up now. Need to stop buying old test gear. Just spend about $1,000 and what? What sort of old test gear? What's the objective with that, or is it just more of like a collector hobby type thing? Not sure cars are a better option either. I have to suffer it out now. The Ford Falcon BA, it decided now that, well, the repair centre, the garage, has decided that it is in fact the internal exchange assembly that is at fault with the air conditioner, and they've quoted me about $2,000 to replace it. Now this is a car that is 21 years old or so, and is in a not so great state of repair overall. So I think I'll just have to be enduring summer without an air conditioner in the car, which basically means I'm not going to go anywhere. It's like, if it's daylight, I'm not going anywhere. Mostly make videos and add collection of tools. Oh, okay, alright then. I understand that. Get it out of there. Oh boy. Yeah, that is the problem. The exchange unit itself is cheap, but the labour, because they've got to pull the whole dash out. I mean, I can go out there and I could probably find another Falcon BA for $2,500. I mean, goodness knows what problem it's going to have. Probably also a bad exchange unit in the dash. And we're really not in a position at this point to go out and buy a new car. Not in any way, shape or form. I mean, I know people have suggested, we could lease it or do some sort of business type stuff. That's just not going to happen. And that's more of a choice on my behalf. Like, I do not want to be accumulating any more debts than what I have to. Like, we have the mortgage, and I'm happy with where we are with the mortgage in terms of it's, say, $500 a week, and that's entirely manageable, and I don't want to go pushing up other things. The interest rate increase did kind of hurt things a little bit. I mean, we were on a 3-year fixed loan, and that was really nice because we were paying around about $300 a month in interest. But with the rate jump and then our fixed term finished, we had to renegotiate, and it's now gone up to closer to 500, well, pretty much 500. So 500 a month. It doesn't, sure, it's only like probably 220, 230 more than the previous one, but it makes a difference. Hey there, Tom Morgan. Why do I always forget my little staging plate? We'll use this. Why can't they put bigger pin 1 marks on these things? Yeah, there's no way I'm getting that out. Yeah, that's right, Christian, and that is exactly why it's not being done. In the previous Falcon that I had, which was the EF model, I actually did rip out 90% of the dash and drove it down to the mechanic after I already checked with them first. I said, look, will it help me at all, or you, if I take out 80% of the day? But it was still legally drivable, so to speak, but it was not very pretty. But I'm not going to be doing it with this one. Pull the front seat. But then I can't drive it. Oh, I know what I've got to... Oh, where have I put them all? Yeah. I ordered myself a whole bunch of DC jacks, but for some reason they're not in that box there. But they should be. But they're not. Where's my hot plate? I'm not baking them up one at a time. I'm just loading them up onto the... Yeah, Paul, that's not precarious doing it like that. Using a fine pair of tweezers to shift a heavy item. Sure. Right, I need to find those DC jacks. Someone's going to get mad if I can't find them. My crikey, was that my wife that just sneezed? Hey Josh. Okay. Yeah, the good old 460 air conditioning system. It's kind of sad. We used to always, travel around the country with that. We had ourselves a old van in the 80s. Actually, it was like late 70s, early 80s. And we'd travel everywhere. We'd go up to the Northern Territory, Western Australia, like where it's hot. And you just accepted it. That's just how it was. That's how you drove. Well, obviously I wasn't driving. I was a kid, but you know. But thinking about doing that now, that would fill me with dread. I'm like, no, my goodness, there's no way I could handle that. It's a bit like living at home without air conditioning too. I guess maybe we've become a little bit soft. But then I drive around town and I see crazy mofos up on the roof of houses, doing roofing or installing solar panels or things like that. And it's like, are you insane? I mean, I know you can get accustomed to it, but there still are real limits to safe human, what is safe to be exposing yourself to. I'm sure the hospital departments are full of heat stroke victims. Tell you what I'm mad about though, amongst everything else, is the fact that once again the limitation of my installed system, we've got a 6.6 kilowatt with a 5 kilowatt inverter, once again pains me because we've got all this solar and we've got a very high demand from the air conditioners. And I said to the people who were installing or planning it, I said, we live home, we use a lot of air conditioning, we've got a huge amount of roof space, use it. I want as much solar as you can realistically put up there. And they come back and said, oh yeah, we can only do the 6.6. And then they gave me no expansion room on the inverter itself, so it's just a 5 kilowatt inverter. So even if I wanted, I don't know. It's just frustrating that they did what they did to us. I hate to bring this out, but it does feel like they were somewhat prejudiced against us because of the fact that the house looks pretty shitty at the moment. But it certainly wasn't a money issue. We had plenty of money. I think at that time we had like 50,000 sitting in the account. We don't now. And they just sort of came around, looked at the place, went, we can do this and this and this. And they ignored pretty much everything I asked for and said, look, I want to have a upgrade path to having a battery installed and then an EV installation, all that sort of stuff. Nothing. Hey, Smiller. So essentially, if we want to get more solar power, we basically now are going to have to run a completely separate system entirely. And at least we can do that here because we do have we've got our mains box and then we've got a sub-mains, because we kind of have two houses here, kind of. So we can get away with that. It's still annoying though. Like when they came in, they were testing all the PowerPoints, and there was one section that was misbehaving and whatever. And they got quite angsty, angry, maybe not angry, but they were rather short with us. And they said, like, who did this? Why isn't this working? Who touched this? Blah, blah, blah. And it turns out that the reason why it was misbehaving is because it was on the submains, and the submains didn't have the RCDs installed. And so it was nothing at all to do with us, but they turned around to us and blaming us for meddling with the electricals. So I was not happy about that. It's a shame because the product they were offering and the business itself overall is actually pretty good. But our specific individual experience was not great. Yeah, they promised everything after. Oh, sorry, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we tried a couple of times, gave them another chance, and they just went back to their bad old habit. So they've got, yeah, maybe they've changed, I don't know. This is the downside when you live in a bit of a remote area and you're having people from out of town come in to do work. What the hell? Why do I get the feeling that I didn't finish that previous board? I feel like I didn't put the LED controller down or anything. I'm gonna have to look at that. I feel like I blanked out for a bit there. Yay, I blanked out. Ah, crap. Actually, maybe I'll leave that in there. Hey, full wave. Oh, why do I even try? I've definitely got a blockage in this vacuum pump because I should be able to just pick up D-packs like that, or D2 pack, D-pack? D-pack, yep. But it's got no hope of that. Well, a blockage or a leakage, I'm not sure. Hey, Thomas. I have to grab that one that I did not fully populate. I can't believe I did that. That's okay, Paul. Well, thank you for being here, Paul. It's always good to see you. I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully I can be a little bit sooner for everybody. Alright, one more. So has anybody here got a Flex Board View license and have upgraded to the latest one with the minimap? Oh great, now you're not even sucking at all. You suck at sucking. It's completely stopped. Ad block is killing video? Seriously? It shouldn't. As far as I don't run any adverts in the middle or anything. Oh, Miles, don't be a Rossman. I might go get another nozzle. I don't know if it is the nozzle. I suspect it's not, but we'll try anyway. It's not like I don't have a few. Microsoft has scared you. Well, look, put it this way. Just download it, unpack it into a separate folder. In fact, it will unpack itself into a separate folder, and then you can run them independently. So the installation of the new the downloading of the new version will not clobber the installation of the old version. Oh, is it possible that that's just a stuck LED? I think the LED is actually stuck on the tape, and that's why it didn't come out. Oh, full wave. That's some college trash humour there. And disgustingly, I'm sweating through my gloves at the moment. How do people keep managing snapping off mainboard standoffs? Which mainboard? What? You talking about the little like rubber stick things that are soldered onto the board? They've snapped off the nut that the screw. Oh wow! It sounds like someone's been over talking things. Yeah, at times I do really wonder what a bunch of people are doing in this industry. Like, I mean, I'm happy to see people try and stuff like that, but then some people just don't have a sense of when screws or anything like that has reached its plastic point. I don't know, it's just a weird thing. It's like usually if you feel something hit the plastic point, you're like, uh-oh, and you hopefully never do it again. Some people just don't even seem to feel it coming up. Extractor. Hey there, Q's. Well, we've been at this an hour already, and we haven't even finished up the first batch. That's terrible. I've been meaning for at least a week now to try and get in and get these things built. There's just so many things that keep popping up, interfering, like it gets too late at night, or you have emergency jobs during the day. It's just always something. Thank you, Greg. Hughes, I haven't forgotten about your requests either. Time is a problem at the moment. Okay, we're at 100 Celsius, so we've got a little way to go yet. Hopefully we don't run into too many issues today. But somehow or another I'm completely rotten at repositioning those. Wow. Oh yeah, I know you've got no problem paying me for the work. So it's just a case of prioritizing everything. But thank you for the reassurance. What I really need to do with this sort of work here, the manufacturing, is like maybe spend a weekend or just even a full day, and you get like 10 or 20 done of each, and then you do that maybe once a month. Okay, 147. At least the upside with this big plate, the 200 by 200, is that the time it takes to come up to temperature is pretty close to a normal reflow, although the actual temperature transitions not so much. You have 300 pieces. What sort of PCBs are you doing? How many parts on each one? Are you doing it with just hand and tweezers or a vacuum pen? Or 176, so we're now at the threshold point. So it looks like this actually runs a little hotter than what it says. Got one going wonky here. Oh, we've already switched off. Working with these aluminium PCs is certainly different compared to the normal fiberglass ones. Now I have to get these off even though they are actually still liquid. Old school TH Tech, very few surface mount parts, 8 pots, a few. Holy dooly! That's a lot of work. Okay, we'll just wait for those to cool down a bit. Just see why this thing's sucking up being a vacuum. So I'm fairly sure the valve is misbehaving. But I suppose I should start by trimming this off and see if that improves. Yeah, it's still not great. Hopefully we're back. Something went wrong with OBS there. It wasn't the microphone, it was OBS decided that it didn't want to send through that channel anymore. There's a piece of junk stuck in the... Yeah. Knew there would have been something wrong with the valve. Ah! Nothing happened. I know, I'm sorry, I was an asshole. Of course, anyone who knows about getting electric shock, most times, if it's a bad one, nothing actually happens, at least outwardly. You just sit there and suffocate because you can't move. None of the jumping around with great big shocks and shakes or anything like that. It's just, you're stuck. Yeah, I could try something like that, breast pump. That'd be a little hard to explain. I don't want to take this. It should be fine. It just had the, what do you call it, some impurity get in to the diaphragm valve. Now I've got the joy of just trying to get it to sit back down. Okay. Hey, there we go, we got it. It's annoying. I guess that's why you normally have intake air filters, precisely to stop that sort of trash. I mean, I've never really... The worst thing with aquarium pumps is that most of them now no longer have the body design that allows you to just rotate the assembly 90 degrees or 180 degrees to get the vacuum. So you have to end up doing all sorts of weird mods like I did there. On the upside, they're definitely built for durability. So here we go now. No, I think it might have actually damaged the little leaf. I can hear it when it's getting on mark. It's fine for the small stuff, so we'll just keep going as we were. Or I could just get a proper vacuum pump. I need to put gloves back on. I do have the other side I could modify. It's actually a 2-in-1 pump. Like it's got two, as you saw, it's got two diaphragms. The actual diaphragm itself is fine. It hasn't cracked that I can see. It really is just, I think the one-way valve leaf trashed itself. Okay. Well, we've got to program these and see if it's okay. Once again, we will partake in really shonky build techniques. done. We don't need no special sockets until we do. Boo, that one didn't work. All good. So normally I'll use just 3 holes, but this being an aluminium board, I didn't really have that option. Hey Raj, you just installed but you don't see the mapping? Seriously? You should be, it's on by default. What version number is it coming up bottom left? Alright, we got a problem with this board. Hey Davenport, Mark. This one doesn't want to program for some reason. Can't think of a good reason. It's the right polarity. Well, we'll make sure we don't have a short somewhere. No, let's see, 2300. It's actually a little lower than I would have expected. Except it's not. Pins all look connected. We've got the right chip. Older ones, still different directly. Right, yep, alright. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They basically now, they always install into their own independent folder, so you can chop and change as you require. Oh, it was just, I think, a bit of flux over the pads was stopping it. Okay, they're all programmed now. Right, now I need a 28 volt supply. I'll try out one of these new ones that I got. Thank you, Raj. Good to hear it. You can turn off the mini-map, by the way. If you just go into the preferences, just turn it off in there. I kind of wish I'd made the mini-map a long time ago. Okay, that's good. I'm going blind here. All right. From which are you using? You must be using the macOS one, are you? Because the macOS is the only one that actually has a proper installer. Yeah, there you go. Yep. Yeah. And I've still got to get around to buying my EV cert for signing of... Like, I've got an Apple cert, and I used to have just a normal code signing cert for Windows, which has expired. But I need to go out and get a proper full EV cert. But that's like $1,000, and it's not that I have a problem with spending that money. It's a case of $1,000 right now up front it's a little spicy for me. but I need it because I need to be able to have it that with Windows and all and with Mac OS that you can just go in and it's not going to come up and say, warning, this is an unverified whatever. Right, now we've got to put the rings on it. Anyway, so it's definitely on my list. It's just that it's not high enough on my list. It should be, because it would improve adoption rates, but I'm still sort of, yeah. There's a billion things that want all of my attention. Okay, rings. And we need heat sinks. Yeah, exactly, the fun. So I am aware of it, I'm trying to fix it. And then of course the process of actually getting an EV cert is in itself quite a thing. I also need to find a supplier of these lengths of heatsink that don't come with all this pointless trash. Yeah, Ryan Labs, I had the Amscope 144 ring light, the one with the separate external power supply, and I was quite happy with that, but I didn't realize just how monochromatic that light is until I looked back on my older videos, and the older videos just have this bluish washout look. Anyway. So yeah, plenty of things that I know I need to get done, but haven't yet got done. I should keep these aside somewhere. I don't use this stuff anymore because it's about twice as thick as the stuff I do use now. It's like I'm using this now. The basic code signing cert isn't too expensive, but yeah, when you want to get the full EV cert, that's where the cost really jumps. Because that's the one where they essentially say, okay, look, we trust you enough that there's not going to be any warnings or anything like that. And so you got to go and they interview you and all other stuff. The leads are angled. That's probably not really going to happen given that these are 120. These are already 120 angle, wide. So tilting it's not going to change much. So don't expect that one. Sorry to say. If these were non-diffuse LEDs, then yeah, that would be useful. But they're already diffuse. What some people can do if they want is they can put another diffusion ring layer over the top of those LEDs if they want. I personally choose not to because I like my light. Like I like as much light as I can get when I need it. Yeah, clear PLA does seem to do the trick. I've seen a couple of people using that now. So that would be my recommendation, because like I said, if to explain why it really won't make a difference, what you really want, or what you the effect that you're looking for, can only really be obtained by increasing the diameter out of the LEDs themselves. That's about it. So you are actually getting the light source coming in more at an angle, because unfortunately tilting these is not going to make any difference, because they're already broadcasting. Like the main cone is around about 60 degrees, so you'd have to go at angles over around about 30 or 40 at least to get some sort of perception difference. I would say put a diffuser on it if you like. Clear PLA is a good idea. Other than that, just pick up the board and turn it on angles. Or you can go for the gooseneck style, completely different thing, gooseneck style on the back. But I have a problem with that for the fact that it casts shadows too much. From a human perception point of view, the angled gooseneck lights does feel nicer, but it doesn't give you quite the same ability to spot things in many cases. Mark Davenport at the moment they're selling for $79, and I also can bundle in power bricks as well for a little bit extra. There may be a price drop on the power bricks. I'm just trying to see what I can organise. Like, what I want to try and do is for $99 get the power brick and the ring light. Funnily enough, the big issue is really more the postage, because when it's just the ring light, it's under 250 grams. When you throw the power brick in, that 250 grams goes completely out the window. Oh, sorry, Defum, how the hell did I not... Oh, crikey. There you go, Defum. No, don't touch the aluminium that's freshly cleaned. It's kind of terrifying how well stuff will stick when it's clean. It's like when you accidentally stick two gauge blocks together. And you're like, oops, shouldn't have done that. At least in most cases, you just slide them apart. Nobody reads the notes. That's just more there for Google search and stuff like that. Okay. Right, now we need some screws. Hopefully I have just enough here. I could have sworn I ordered another 1,000 of these, but I don't know where they are. Yeah, Ryan, it's certainly been useful having the 3D. Thank you to Teresa, if she's still in the channel, for that. Yeah, it's certainly been a very handy addition. I don't use it every day or anything like that. It sort of comes out in bursts. but it's definitely been helpful. Hell, it even helped with the cat fence, because I've got these rotating spinning rollers bars on top of the metal fence, so when the cats jump up they put their claw or hand or whatever onto it and it rolls down. But there was a few sections with the joins of the fence where the standoffs that they supply with the rollers were just simply too low, and so the rolling bar would actually interfere with something, and so it wouldn't roll. Anyway, so yeah, with the 3D printer using PET, I was able to make some higher just little spaces and solve the problem. I hear a lot about the Bamboo Lab A1. But I think I should get an EV cert before I get another 3D printer. I think that would help me quite a bit. At least, yeah, the Ender 3 that I've got now, it does the job well enough. I know a lot of people speak mockingly of it, and I understand that, but at the end of the day, for my first 3D printer, and for the fact that it was given to me, thank you very much again, Teresa, it is definitely paid its way. I think my biggest problem that I've had with the Ender is just simply when the dispensing roll, if you get the line sort of slides underneath a loop in the roll and then it snags. That's probably the biggest issue I have. And then other than that, simply weather related, like if it's humid outside, then my prints tend to go a bit stringy because of the fact that the humidity is a bit high. So that could at least be solved just simply by getting one of those humidity controlled dispensers. Alrighty, that's it. Got those ones done, that's great. Now we've got to do the meters. I better double check what's going on with these. I better check see I do have these screws. Yeah, I've noticed the drying units are surprisingly cheap. I was quite impressed. I was expecting them to be a couple $100, but yeah, they're way cheaper than that even. It's funny how you can have a perception on how much something's going to be, and then when you see it's not, you're like, what? What am I missing? Just seeing if I can find any 1.7s here. No. These are all the different screws that I go through when I was trying to work out what best to use, like various grub screws, and I don't mind. It's nice to have a broad collection of these sort of things in your workshop, because you don't know what your future job might require. You might go, oh, I wish I had that, and then lo and behold you do. Aha! And there we go. 1000 1.7s. That's good. It just wasn't in that box for some reason. What the living daylights? Huh. Oh, don't you love it when you don't realise what you've already done? Those I must have ordered at some point before I ordered these. What I don't get though here is that, did I maybe buy these from AliExpress or something? Doesn't seem like it. These here, obviously they're from DigiKey. But where did these come from? DigiKey and other suppliers would not generally supply them like this, but then again maybe they did. Anyway, it looks like I've got more than enough DC sockets now. More than enough. Better to have too many, I think. Of course, when you're really old or when you die and people come and clean out your workshop, they're kind of like, wow, what was this guy thinking he was going to do with all this stuff? Alright. Hey, music, I guess. So, that. Let's get ourselves a different stencil. Check. Let's gotta quickly check some things here. What's this for? Oh dear. Wow, I have not seen that. Is that actually soldered on, or just they stuck it there for reference, question mark? It may be that if you want to prevent the Apple non-genuine message. Is that one of the 13 Pro Max OLED models, the soft ones? Interesting. Alright. Get ourselves the board. Stencil. At least I can do all four at once with one pass with this stencil. As long as I get the orientation right. Okay, something sticking. What's, oh, it's a magnet. Explains why it felt sticky. Right, let's see how many ways we can stuff this one up. Once again, probably a little bit too much paste, but better a little bit too much than not enough in this case. Hopefully we can get this done in clean swipe if I don't get caught by those magnets. Fuck. Yep, we'll go with that. Now the fun part, peeling it back off without stuffing it up. There's going to be some manual rework there, I can see already. This is just a piece of magnetic stainless. I think it's 430, I think it is. I can't remember. But it was good, it was like $10. It was the perfect size for what I wanted to do. Ryan, if there's a board view and a schematic for it, or even just a board view, then it generally can work with flex board view. I think one of the big things I have to work on with, well, there's two things I have to work on with flex board view, is that one, it's not just for Macs, it's just that's where it sort of spawned from, and two, it's not a subscription model. There seems to be a regular thing that comes up that people think that they're going to have to pay for it again later, and that's semi-pseudo true in the sense that, okay, if you want to jump from say version 5 to version 6, if I ever release version 6, then there will be a payment. But while you're on version 5, then there's no cost when the new releases come out, as in the new updates. So just things like that seem to be common stumbling blocks that I'm running into. It comes down to marketing, getting the right message out there. Like, yeah, 15 odd years ago, the idea of subscription-based software and stuff, it was absolutely, well, it still is to me anyway, absolutely abhorrent. But people have become quite used to it, so yeah, that's something I've got to deal with. Hey Draco, how are you there? Alright, let's see how badly we can mess this one up. I really do need my new glasses, but they're not going to turn up until, yeah, next week or so. It's not much of a difference with the glasses either. I'm basically going, these ones sort of focus in at 450, 500 millimeter distance, but I need 350 to 400 kind of distance. So every time I go in, every couple of years, yeah, we just set it for that distance, and then slowly it drifts out. So I've got a whole series of these that are like further and further back now. Ooh, we've got just 4 of these left. To be fair, I've got a whole bunch of them. And the fun part's going to be I have to pack these all up too. And it's international packing, which means things are going to take longer than usual. Doing all the paperwork for international packages is fun. The postal website helps a bit, but it's still not as quick as what I would like. A little bit too much manual transferring of information. I don't like that because that's always a point of, what do you call it, always a point of error. Oh, Pro Engineer, thank you very much for the 5. For the scope light boards, rather than messing around with PCB holding, why not 3D printer holder? Oh, well, like, the reason why I do the magnetic one is that it's pretty good and it is adjustable, so I don't have to have multiple things. Yeah, the magnetic one works pretty good. I mean, I could try and print a even bigger guide for holding them all. The bigger problem really tends to be myself. You know, making sure I have the right amount of paste, making sure that I hold it steady, you know, do the just sweep smoothly, all that sort of stuff. Thank you for that. Korea, hey, you got a Korea. If they're going to have you pay well, I guess they kind of indirectly do the sort of, yeah, you're paying for the month in advance, if you know what I mean. Anyway, it's not a model that I'm really a fan of for, whoops, this sort of thing. I like my software to be available and working whenever I want it. I've got this board too far up. Just come down a little. You can hear the pump when I get the proper vacuum going. Like, you can hear it banging away there. So it must have better suction than what I had before before we removed that obstruction. Whatever you do, don't get a charm high pick and place charm high. I haven't heard of those. What makes them suck? Or do you mean, is that a joke? Damn it. I need more light here. Poor repeatabilities. Hey, Murito. How are you there? Alright, time to throw some random 100 nanofarads everywhere on this board. So many 100 nanofarads everywhere. So you get 100 nanofarad, you get 100 nanofarad, everybody gets 100 nanofarad. So you may as well just put them in a salt shaker. I need more light here. I'm going to bring in this and then switch it back. Yeah, it doesn't help you guys. It helps me. Sort of, not really actually. I actually need the light coming from over here. Ah, come on, where's the adjustable knob? Oh, what did I just press? Who knows? Yeah, where was I? Oh, that one dropped. I'm gonna have to, under the microscope, I'm gonna have to go along and realign a lot of these. Not doing a very good job at the moment. Like I said, fundamentally, can't really see what I'm doing. You have a small Novastar reflow oven. Well, sounds like that was better than the piece of crap that I experimented with, the Vivor infrared one. I knew it was going to be a little bit iffy because I do have my own custom made reflow oven, but I wanted to see what I could get out of this Vevor one, and I put the insulating wool and all that sort of stuff to give it a bit of a better chance, and it was still the biggest piece of crap I've ever encountered. So I don't know how they can I guess they're just selling them to suckers like me who think, let's see what this is like. Honestly, unless you're sticking to one board around about this size in the middle of that thing, it just doesn't do a very good job at all. It's terrible. Do you have an extra ring light that you can temporarily place above it? Yeah, I do actually. Well, I've got a few lights I could... I think the big problem is I really do need my new glasses. I kind of let it go a bit long, and now I'm struggling to get focused. So that's where the light helps. It just gives me that chance to focus a little better. I'm kind of running out of space though in this area. There's just not a lot of area anymore to mount things. Alright, we're going to put the LEDs on now. I do have new green LEDs coming, which I made sure, at least I hope, have a mark on them for the cathode end. Because once again, we're stuck with the predicament of which damn way does this go? Stick the other end of the tube in your mouth. That could almost work. I can be like the Raiden Watch Girls or whatever. Okay. So the 3 wires going towards the anode. Oh, this is where that's where that cap went that went missing. Three to anode. Oh, missing a cap. Hey, we'll take that one back, thanks. And now I've lost that one. Damn, can't win today. See if I can find that cap. I put it down here for safety, safekeeping, for a rainy day. What the? This thing really does want to be part of the program. There we go. Yeah, I got a lot of these situations where my alignment is sufficiently badly out that no amount of glorious surface tension is going to save them. Oh, I like that. And surface tension will save a lot of things for you, but there are limits even to that. Oops. Maybe go 8.5. I really don't want to. 8.5 for me, I started with 8.5s, And the big problem I have A5 is I just don't like them much. I mean, you're right, I do have plenty of space. The truly ideal thing is to get a robot to do it all. Nyah. Yeah, 402 is no fun without a scope. I am the robot. Quite right you are, Tom. Quite right you are. I need something to fuel my circuits. I'm seriously considering, when I do the next batch, of switching back to the 5-pad or 6-pad USB-C ports, now that I understand why, no matter what I do, I will not be able to stop it, that you have to have the correct orientation of the cables in and out. So now that I know it's not to do with the way I've set this up, whether it be a 12-pin, 24-pin or 6-pin. If I switch back to the 6-pin design, then yeah, it's a little less sensitive to the inaccuracies. Alright, time to bring the hot plate in. It's still a little warm. A scary phase where you don't want to accidentally trip, knock stuff or anything. Okay, we're on. Extractor. Now do some cleanup. Oh, Death Palm, I wouldn't consider yourself a monster for doing that with the 805s on the 603s. I mean, I do that with the LEDs. It works, so what else does matter? Temperature is going to be set to hit 215. Yeah, Pro, I do find that with the 603s, that's part of the reason I don't want to switch away from 603, because a lot of the world, the supply lines seem to be 603 based or lower. You tend to miss out on a few options when you go 805. And then of course there's 1206 would be nice. I could do 1206 these days without microscope, definitely. Anyone could, or almost anyone could. To be fair, Draco, by the time it does actually hit 215, I'm almost ready to switch it off anyway. Oh, Tom, thank you so... That's difficult. You put me in a spot here. I have to be thankful for the fact that you bought it, but then I have to be disdainful towards you for the fact that you've made me do extra work now. Yeah, I'll be happy to get these out this weekend. Oh yes, there we go. Tom Morgan. His order has come through. I guess I'll ship yours out today as well then. Now you have to make another batch. Oh, Lord, you help me. No, I should have just enough. So I'm fairly sure I can get the USB-C meters done overseas without too much trouble. But yeah, those ring lights, I know you should be able to trust them to, particularly if you send them the LEDs that you want to use and stuff like that. But for small quantities that we're dealing with, it's all too easy to be ignored when things go wrong. It's interesting, well, it's obvious really, but the fiberglass boards take longer to reflow than the aluminium ones. And it makes sense because, you know, the heat transfer through the fiberglass isn't exactly as stellar. Oh, Ryan, you're 48. Oh, I'll be 52 in a little bit. Pretty much a reflow. The main thing I'm waiting for really are the pads for these USB-C connectors. And every now and then these damn FPCs don't quite line up. I really want to find a better FPC connector. Just trying to catch anything that's tombstoning before I take it off. I think we're good. Always easier to just shift things while it's all reflowing like this than it is afterwards. Bottom right, this one, yeah, it's just tilted. I'll get them off now. Move this hot plate away. How are we going for time? Jeez, it's already 2:30. This is going to be good time for dentist. 2:30. It's going to be a tight one today. He had to explain that joke to you. These are going to be a little bit warm still. Actually surprisingly good. It drifted a long way across, but it's okay. Yeah, that one's actually pretty good. I don't know what happened there on that one, but that needs to be... Oh, wow. Okay, this one is like the polar opposite of the other ones. Okay, we'll have to fix those up. Just those two there didn't quite make it. It's fine. We will fix it. Little flux for encouragement. That's like a flooding of flux. Oh, where did that go? No, come back. That's one 300 ohm resistor I'm not getting back. Good thing I got a spare. Stopped doing electronics in 2002 and 3. It was ferrying aircraft around the world. Wow. When you say ferrying, you mean like someone sells the plane, but it's in the US and you got to fly it over. Wow, that looks a little flux absent there. Didn't like the way that solder kind of looked at. See, in trouble with the gel flux is that inevitably you spill out too much. And of course then you spread the flux everywhere. I might have to throw this one in the ultrasonic tank actually. Yeah, that's not acceptable. Alright, now we're just going to reinforce the legs on these. That's actually a pretty interesting job there, right? I mean, apart from the, I dare say, lots of hours sitting there just cruising, waiting, cruising, waiting. What the hell? Where's all the solder for these? What? Wow, that completely missed. This is why we do the reinforcement. Yeah, nothing in those ones. That's terrible. I must have lifted the stencil a little early. What sort of planes did you transfer? Hey, John. Hey, Serge. Hey, good to see you. Yeah, we're still live because I'm slack. Yeah, that definitely grabbed. I saw it do the drawback. Yeah, they both grabbed. That's good. I did want to get my pilot's license and things like that, but my hearing was a real issue. Not much good if you want to go flying and you can't hear what air traffic's saying to you. I mean, I'm sure there's ways around it, but yeah. Each got to decide your own threshold of what you are willing to do. For me, instead, I kind of cheated and just went with model aircraft. But I enjoy designing model aircraft and doing the electronics for them. Helicopters are definitely fun. The way that they're just so passionate about smashing into the planet. Not exactly sure what I can do about trying to improve or trying to have it so that enough solder gets onto these legs, just in terms of like when I stencil it. I don't think I can actually do anything about that really. Single multi-engine and Cessna Cirrus Papa Muni. Oh, wow. Yeah, very comprehensive license skill set you've got there. Single engine, multi-engine, different types. I'll just have to live out my fantasies through DCS or something like that. Longest was a Cessna 172 from California. California to Australia? They actually, wow, 172 over that distance. So would you time it for a nice cold morning at sea level takeoff and a very long runway, and I guess no aggressive banking or pulling. Oh, California to Hawaii, okay. I was going to say It's pretty crazy to get all that way to Australia. Right, that puts a reality back into it a bit for me. 12 to 15 hours are like, oh yeah, I suppose that's... I used to hate flying South Africa, Johannesburg to Sydney. I was just like, I think it was about 18 hours if you were lucky. To be fair, we often, we'd stop in Perth, but it was not a fan of that trip. That's the other thing. I mean, with the Cessna 172 or things like that, the amount people are paying to get them shipped over. Was it a special one or something? I'm making things worse here. I'm getting a... Okay. Cirrus SR20. I actually don't know the Cirrus SR20. Now I'm going to have to Google that. Oh, okay. Almost has a bit of a Piper look. If you're wondering what I'm chopping off, these are the backlight leads. And backlights in this is just a single, in this case I think white LED embedded in plastic. It's really not a good backlight. It's a terrible backlight, in fact. Wow. I'm having trouble getting the flux to get lost. Still not great. Okay, that's better. I just realised I really should program these first before I put the displays on. Easier for me to fix up any issues when I don't have a delicate display hanging off it. Good. At least I got all the LEDs around the right way this time. Do you have to get special approval or anything like that in order to be able to load it up like that? Like, you know, you're saying 130% overweight, things like that. Do you have to get prior approval from FAA? Or are they sort of like, well, you know, it's your problem if you die? Yeah, these FPC connectors, I would rather the pivot latch ones where you flick them up. Not the greatest of fan of those slide out lock ones. Particularly with these, there tends to be a little bit too much pressure required to push that flex in before you even lock it. Which makes me think that they're not really specifically designed for the thickness of this flex. Although, funnily enough, they do come from, like, I order them as part of the screen order. Not that that means anything. They are very nice displays, you know, they're just I2C displays. Very simple to drive. Special airworthiness cert for the overweight and peri-permanent. Okay, great, cool, okay. Okay. Now to see if they even work. Oops. There's my phone. My phone's always the victim for this particular part. Looks fine. good. And good. Alright, so at least they're all working out of the box. Thank goodness for that. So, looks like a passenger on a Qantas flight QF520 from Sydney to Brisbane heard a loud bang after takeoff. It's not the sort of time you want to hear a loud bang, I guess. So, Qantas plane makes emergency land fire. Grass fire breaks out. Sorry, folks. Yeah, it could have been a bird ingestion. There was an explosion, so it does tend to lend towards that. I'm sure they'll get to the bottom of it. Probably landing gear coming up. Maybe, yeah, I mean, I know what you mean about the landing gear noise. It doesn't explain the grass fire situation. Unless that was coincidence and they're just sort of crossing over stories. Alright, what's the time? 3-ish? 14:52. Alright. I am going to close up the stream now because I need to go and start do all the prep work for the labels and things like that. The USB-C meters I still need to put into their shrink wrap, but I'm going to first get all the labels ready to roll, get some orders prepared, and then come back to the shrink wrapping. So thank you everyone for watching. Hope that gave you something interesting to do for a change. Sitting here watching me slave away, but in turn I get to take your money away when you buy my stuff. Thank you very much, Tom. Alright, I'm out of here. Thank you all. I'll see you in the next one, whenever that may be. Until then, you'll take care. I'll see you later.